Welcome everybody to the podcast called The Industry. I'm your host, your favorite bartender in the DFW. My name is Chris. This podcast is talking about the restaurant industry, mostly shining a light on it. We'll be discussing, telling stories about our experience, also talk about things that's trending in the world. The industry will be out every Wednesday night. Please follow and subscribe. So, tonight, I have somebody in here who knew me before I became a manager, before I became a bartender, when I first became a server. Like I just started training when I met this guy.
Mhm.
Me and this guy went through. Me and this guy partied together. We
Mhm.
got drunk together. We used to kick it together, man.
A lot has
We
happened.
we done a lot of hanging out together, man. This man, he's we seen each other both fucking grow in this industry,
Yeah.
man. Both grow, man. Like this is my boy. Somebody I know, damn near somebody I know since I moved to Texas. My boy Kenzie. You want to
What's
introduce
up, man?
yourself, man?
My name is Kenson. How's it going? Been doing this for, I guess at this point, 14 years,
Yeah.
kind of figured out. Yeah, no, I knew when you were just a knucklehead, no nothing. I mean, I wasn't that far behind you. I mean, I only been in, actually, I'd left retail to service industry for
Yeah.
a few months at that point. That was it. I just kind of picked it up quickly. So,
Yeah. I was fucking in fast food. I
so
was-
I've never wanted to do anything with food at all. Like, I remember when I got out of high school, it was like, go to do fast food, go here, do that, work these places. I'm like, nah, I'm good, bro. Like, I started at a warehouse and then I went to retail and stayed that for a while. Did corporate America,
yeah.
led some places, got let go of some places that shut down, and then went through kind of a bad break of life kind of thing. And then
Oh, yeah,
everything fell apart at the same time. I went, you know what? Restaurants
Oh.
sound good. Let's start there. And that's kind of where it's gone to now. So.
No, man, trust me, bro. I know about that one. I fucking started off at a place that, that starts with an M. That's all I'm gonna say. It's so many other fast food restaurants that start with an M. I started
Yeah,
off.
I got that spiel. They should go to the M or the T.
Yeah.
Yeah.
hmm I started off there, and I used to work the morning shifts. Man, I fucking hated that damn job, bro. I hated that shit, and I remember. I think what made me really get up out of there, I was like, bro, I feel like I'm too old for this, and I wasn't old. And
Right.
then it was this one guy, real shit. Like it was this one guy in there. He was like, he sat here and said, I guess the manager was gonna get on his ass, so he had to wipe off the counter. And I don't think he knew he was talking loud.
Right.
So he said, "Man, fuck this bitch. I'm gonna come back and blow this bitch the fuck
Ooh.
up. I'm gonna shoot everybody in this bitch up." And I was like, "Yeah, today's my last day. Today is my last day." I'm like, I'm not
Yeah.
gonna be one of those people. And that's when I came over there to where we
Yeah.
met at.
Yeah,
right
yeah.
there. I was like,
Yeah.
I wasn't about to be
Man,
the next guy.
the crazy times there, man. The very first time I guess I made actual like friends there.
Yeah.
This was before you got there. It was probably a few months before that. We had our first all staff party.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, no, we went to one girl's house. Her name was Dre. I hadn't seen her in a while either.
Bro.
Yeah.
Wasn't that lingerie party?
That was a little after that. That one I missed.
I went to that one.
Yeah, I was.
But I
this was
wasn't
a few months
there.
before that. Yeah,
I wasn't there. My cousin was there.
Yeah.
He worked there before me.
No, that's. I forgot about that party because I mean I think I had to work that night. And I just think I tried to go and I ended up not going because I was like, at
It
that
was
point,
no
it'd be
one
weird.
in there.
Yeah.
It was no one in there.
But this party was our first like all around like store outing party. I was like,
Yeah.
everybody. And the next day, for some reason, most of us had to open or double or work a mid or something stupid. And there was like all of us, and we didn't leave this party until like almost like sunup, I think. And so we like all of us had to crash for a minute and then like show back up disheveled the next morning if we just left a whole party. And I remember being drunk and hungover and everything else. And my first table was a table of, I guess I remember there being LSU because I'm from Louisiana originally, so I
Yeah.
do like LSU as far as college football teams goes.
hmm
And one of the girls had sunglasses on. This is like noon, and I'm like, all of them look like that. And I'm like, I was honest. I was like, here's the deal: you look like how I feel. So let's just get through this. It's like a table of 10 or 12 people. Let's just get through this, and we're gonna have a good afternoon. So, and then that day also too, Erskine. Remember Erskine?
Oh my gosh, that was my boy.
Yeah, he was cool. I followed him to every restaurant. I'm not on purpose, but I saw him almost every restaurant in that Louisville area he had gone to at some point because he popped around a whole bunch of places.
Yeah, that was my boy.
Yeah. But remember, he kept telling me, he kept coming to me, and like things were out of like French fries and chicken tenders and like basic stuff, like not even like the Jack Daniel's sauce or like, or you know what I'm saying, but not even like the crazy stuff we had there. But it was, I just remember that as we hit each stage, and then at some point the GM hall.
Oh damn, that's far back.
Yeah, I've got a. No, me and Paul didn't see eye to eye a whole lot, but anyway. Yeah, I remember him pulling me aside. Man, did you take everybody out last night? And I'm like, no, we were out last night, but I did not take them out individually. Yeah, it was a rough day. That was bad,
bro. I remember the first outing when I started. It was at these apartments that was close by, and that's when I think I got introduced to everybody.
Yeah,
and somebody's phone got stolen.
Ooh.
And I think you was there.
Was I at this party? I think
I was. You were there.
Freaking out about this.
Yeah, somebody's phone. It was either somebody's phone, somebody's wallet got stolen.
Yeah.
But this is the first time like I came. I just started. Everybody thought it was me. Cause they like, oh, it got to be him. He's
the
new.
new guy.
Yeah, he's the new guy. Like everybody goes out. This never happened before. It got to be him. But it turned out the girl just misplaced it.
Yeah.
And everybody was like, hey, bro, like, you know, we want to apologize. And the fucked up part about it, everybody came and apologized to me. I didn't even know nobody fucking accused me.
They were behind the back just accusing me and stuff. That part I remember. I remember I remember that party vaguely. But man,
I remember it was somebody's apartment, and I remember we was smoking and shit like that on the balcony.
Yeah.
And then I remember, I just remember being there, and that was my first time. And ever since then, man, I've just been going to the parties ever since then.
Yeah. It doesn't stop, man. That's the downside, the dark side of this industry. Is like that. There's a lot of depends on what side you're on, right? Like a lot of the parties. I heard you said you don't drink anymore.
Oh yeah, it's been going on almost 3 years now.
That's good. I'm trying to start. I keep starting to stop, and I'm on a week at this point. I'm not sure where that's going to take me just yet. I'm trying. I don't know. It's been a long time. Something I've been considering and contemplating and thinking, especially if I want to change careers, because it's tough. Like you get stuck. Like you know, before you go to work, you gotta have a drink. If you're like now I'm at a bar where I can. It's not necessarily allowed, but it's a thing that happens, and it's not frowned upon by people that run their own the place. Unless you get too messed up, obviously.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I know.
But I'm like, guys, no, I'm good. I don't need a shot. You want to buy a shot? Man, it's weird you're not drinking. It's weird you're not drinking. Well, I just don't. I'm not in it. I don't feel that way right now.
Trust me. Yeah, when I
rough.
Fucking stopped, everybody like, what? You don't? Yeah. I used to fucking go hard with the shit, man.
Bro, you don't know. You have no idea. I have friends of mine that have to take weeks off just to get through the 4 days of. The recovery.
Yep. I know what you mean.
Hit day 3, hit the shakes. The last day, you're throwing up. I've seen all kind of stuff, and then by the next weekend, they're back out.
Yeah, like because they can't. Some people just can't handle that shit. I remember it was me, Shannon. You remember Christy?
Christy. The name sounds familiar. There's a Kristen.
No. Kristen. Shout out to Kristen. Yeah. Nah, it wasn't Kristen. It was a Christy.
Mm. Oh, yeah. I remember Christy now. Yeah. Did she work at the airport too?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. Mm-hmm. Cool. I worked over there with her too. It was me, Shannon, Christy, my boy Matt. It was us 4. Yeah, it was us 4. And we went next door to that place called RNH.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, remember that? Yeah, we went to RNH. And then when we got there, we was like, I think it was Shannon's idea.
It's always Shannon's idea because she would rope me into that too.
Yeah, I think she wanted to do the fucking what you call that? The fucking not
the minnow shot.
No, not the minnow shot. It's not Fireball. It's that other strong, potent, clear shit like
the Rumplemints.
Yes.
Oh yeah. Yes. I refound that recently before I decided to try and quit this time.
Yes. Yeah. I think it was. So we end up doing that, and somehow, some way, we all end up at a fucking strip club.
Yep, that sounds like those nights.
We went to a fucking strip club, and then after we get there, I remember that was my boy first time going to the strip club. He gets mad every time I tell this story, but I think this shit is true. What he said. So I bought him a lap dance because he never been. I bought him a lap dance. I feel like any good friend will fucking do that.
Yeah,
buy a lap dance. Yeah. This motherfucker told the stripper, "What is you don't have to be doing this. It's so much more than life. You could be so much more than what you doing in life right now." I'm like, bro, she ain't trying to hear that shit. Shut the fuck up and enjoy the dance. But I'd make fun of him, said he was throwing coins in the air, but he wasn't.
Making hail? No.
Then we saw I remember they was like, oh, Little Johnson here. Fuck him. I don't give a fuck. They was trying to charge us more because he was in there. Fuck Lil Jon.
No.
Give a damn.
That's
The
crazy.
motherfucker, he is about this tall.
Lil Jon?
Yes.
Yeah, I don't know. I haven't seen him, but I've heard his height. He's not as
He is not tall.
his personality is just taller than his
Yeah.
height is.
Yeah, but you think that because he was in there, that strip club would have been like popping that night.
Yeah.
But it fucking wasn't.
No.
It wasn't dead.
Yeah, but it wasn't like
It wasn't
John
like
is the strip club.
I thought he probably just wanted to be in a low key spot, which it's understandable.
Yeah.
Sometimes you want that.
Yeah.
Yeah, but that night was wild. I don't think we got back. I think we left the strip club like 4 or 5. Then I think we went out to eat. And after we went out to eat, I didn't get home till like 7. I had to open up the store. Then I remember the GM at the time, he called me, and I picked up the phone like, man, I'm on my way, man. Like I was just stuck in traffic.
Instantly, that's every time you wake up, instantly know who it is. You just instantly.
I didn't even see the time he called me. I wasn't even late. I just said that. He called me like, motherfucker, I know you lying. I wasn't even calling you say that you was late. He like, I was calling you so you can stop and get us breakfast. That was just the fucking go-to.
That's hilarious.
I woke up like, man, I'm just stuck in traffic, man.
Yeah.
Like I can know he can hear it in my voice. I know he can hear it in my voice.
That's several times you wake up, you get that call, you see who it is, and you're still half asleep. Your first response is just that. No matter, it's your blanket response. You could be your day off. You wouldn't even. He's just calling you for something else.
Yeah.
Or she, and then you're like, yeah, I'm on the way. And you're like, wake up. I'm not asking you about. You're not on the way because you're off today. I just need to know about the. All right.
Oh my God, man. Yes, those were, man, that shit. That's one thing that I've talked about on previous episode is like reason I love this industry is it's the bonds, man, that you get with that. The bonds, like the fucking how everybody becomes like the friendships with that, man. But after years, people fall off. It's not that nobody just want to talk to each other, not cool with each other. It's just fucking we getting old.
Change, man. Personality change.
Fucking
like
people got.
I mean, I had to use the term family per se because that has more of a, but I've heard more recently more of like negative connotation. But I mean, I've been in a lot of places where we have become family. I still talk to them. We did trips together. There are times where I'll go somewhere. Cause like one of my absolute best friends, she's in Maine. In fact, I talked to her today randomly. And there's a weird story about that, but I sent her off to her wedding, and I worked with her at one restaurant, and there's no reason for us to really be friends. We're kind of opposite-ish people. I'm more of like the crazy, there's all kind of crazy stories that happen, and she just goes, that's just Kinson's story. And she's the one who went into like animal control, and like now she's a store manager at Lowe's branded, but store manager somewhere out in Maine.
Yeah.
And two opposite people. We were just best of friends. Like she called me frantically today because she got a call from DeSoto PD about my car being abandoned. But I just traded my car in 2 or 3 months ago.
It was one of those scam calls.
It was well, I don't know, it was a scam call. No, because actually it didn't detect. She gave or a DeSoto detective. She gave me the number and he called me as well. So I called it, but it was I didn't talk to him. But I guess the car that I had just traded in was still registered in my name, and somehow it got abandoned on the side of a road somewhere. Because it was, I guess, her name, and she's always my emergency contact, even though she's states the hell away.
Yeah.
But since they couldn't get a hold of me, they called her, and she was freaking out trying to find me about it. At first, she was like, well, it's just Kinson. Maybe he parked his car somewhere and got a ride because he was drunk. But I'm like, it was just the weirdest conversation to have about her being in Maine, getting a call from DeSoto police about a car I don't even own anymore, being deserted somewhere else. That's not it. I'm looking at my actual new car sitting outside in the parking spot. Like, yeah, I've got my car now. I don't know why they would call you. It was the strangest random conversation. I haven't talked to her in a few months, so it's a random way to get back in touch with her.
No, the reason I said it's scam is because I think it was like a couple years ago.
Yeah.
I get a call and I'm in my car.
Yeah.
And they called me and they said here, I don't know why. I don't know why I was sitting in my car in the parking lot eating and watching something.
Yeah.
It was just on random ass day. And I think I was just running errands and I was like, I'm hungry, so And then they called me and they were like, hey, and they use my fucking government name. Like a lot of people don't know my whole name. Like a lot of people didn't. Like I worked with people for years and no one even knew that my fucking name was Christian.
Yeah.
And so then And they said my first, middle, and last name. And I'm like, what the fuck? They're like, yeah, it was some bank statements of yours that was in a card that was like bloody and things like that. We saw like some statements with your name on there on in El Paso. I'm like, in El Paso, I fucking never I haven't been I only driven through El Paso like during the pandemic. So I'm
Yeah.
like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
So they like, hey man, we need to make sure this is you. What's your social security number?
Hmm.
I was like, what? They're like, yeah, it was, and they knew who I was banking with because
Yeah.
they said it was Wells Fargo's paper, and at the time I was banking with Wells Fargo. I'm like, whoa. So at first I was tripping out
Yeah. Yeah.
because but then when they asked me, say your social security name so we know who you are. I was like, no, you called me, so
I'll verify that.
yeah,
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
say it and I'll verify it. I could say yes or no. They was like, no, we need you to say it. Then that's when it clicked. Oh, this is a scam.
Mhm.
So I was like, all right, my social security it's 333 67911. And then they was like, what you say? I was like, 911 is the last one. And I'm about to call them right now. And then they're like, sir, this is the police. I'm like, no, it's not.
Yeah.
I'm calling 911. And I'm like, if this is the police, if y'all have all this paperwork, matter of fact, let me three-way my lawyer.
Yeah.
And they was like, you don't have to do that. Why the fuck not?
Yeah. You're allowed to.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm like, well, why the fuck not? So I'm like, I'm three-way my lawyer. And then they hung up the phone. Then I
Yeah.
tried calling back. They blocked me. I'm like, that's a fucking scam.
They know because I mean, they didn't ask for information either from her or from us. It was like more of an informational call. So maybe it's leading to something. So it's also
Yeah.
where they had her number because it's only tied if you know. how
Yeah.
to
So
look
yeah,
up the
maybe
information.
like
Something might have been
something
something,
may
but
have happened.
But when I
yeah.
called him back, I mean, it had the officer's name that she had said, whatever it was, and the voicemail. So he must have either been off at that point. But I'll probably get a call tomorrow to figure out what this actually is or not. It's just weird. It was just out of the blue. But that's like it's the first time in my life, and it's weird that I can say this, but the first time I'm like full legal and everything. I don't have any charges out there. I don't
Oh
have.
my god.
I have a full legal ID, which it hadn't happened for a while at one point. I've got my
No.
car is registered. Like I've got nothing at all they could get me on. So
No,
I'm like,
man.
I'll just call and be like, you know what? Let me just figure this out. Like,
No, that trust me, I fucking feel that. I remember, I had some ticket warrants, and I never fucking forget this. I was off that day, and the police come up there looking for me.
Yeah.
It was around like the warrant roundup,
yeah.
and then they come up there, and fucking sure enough, who it was, Erskine. And people probably think like, after I say this, why the fuck you still cool with him? But I'll tell you why I'm still cool with him after this.
Yeah.
So the police come up there, they're like, hey, it's Chris. But, they like, is Christian up here? And he was like, no, he's off today, but he works tomorrow. Comes in at 4, but come at 4 or 5, he might be late. What the fuck, bruh?
Be honest. He probably tripping out there too. He's probably like, I don't know how to handle this. Like he seems like a very straight laced human. So he's probably the kind of person that his immediate response is just get them what they need. Like
I feel that.
yeah.
I feel that.
For me, it's not an excuse. I'm just saying, but like to see his side of it, maybe he's just like, I don't want to mess with this. I don't want to deal with whatever repercussions if I lie to them. So here's this. Boom. Like,
And I thought that. And I would agree with you
okay.
100. If he didn't sit here and say, come in at 4 or 5 or come in at 4, he could just say he's not here, he comes in tomorrow. I would understand that, like, hey, you're not trying to be involved in that.
Right.
Bro, you told him I come in at 4 and said come in at 4 or 5 because I'm 5 minutes late.
Sorry.
Like, you fucking gave him the fucking the antidote to come lock my ass up.
That's
So
hilarious.
then he calls me. He like, hey, man, I'm looking out for you. And he told me the whole situation. I'm like, how the fuck are you looking out for me? You just told him I'll be there at 4 or 5, which usually I am there at 4 or 5. I'm like, they ain't looking out for me. How about I didn't pick up the phone right now?
Yeah.
Then I would have walked in and work, going to jail. So I went to go turn myself in I think I went in like at 8 in the morning,
Ugh.
turned myself in. Then I got out. That shit happened to me twice. I got locked up for tickets before going to work. That one, all right, I knew about.
Yeah.
So it was another time I went to court. No. Yeah, I went to court and he said, when can you make a payment? I said, I can make one this Friday. He said, okay, cool. He was like, all right, I had you scheduled to make one on Friday. I like, all right. So I like, all right, cool. I'll go in at 12. I'll be there. I think they opened up like at 10 or 11. I'll be there. And, in Louisville, they not that far away from each other.
Yeah.
Louisville court office and, the
I know.
place that we worked
Been to
at.
both.
They not that far. So I like, all right, cool. I'll go 11, do what I got to do and give me something to eat and go to work.
Mm.
So I handed the lady my ID. She sat here and said, I knew something was wrong because it was taking her a minute. And then she like, sir, do you know you have a warrant? I was like, no. She like, what you do? I was like, man, if you think I knew I had a warrant, you think I'd be right here? Fuck, like the fuck? You think I'd be right here? No, I'm here to pay a ticket.
Yeah.
Ain't this the ticket that I'm paying for this warrant? She like, no, you have another warrant. I was like, I didn't know shit about that. If I knew, trust, believe me, I wouldn't fucking be here right now.
Yeah.
So then the lady kept my fucking ID. And this is like when me and Tay first got together.
Mhm.
So my one fucking phone call in jail had to be fucking at the job to let them know I'm not coming.
That you're coming in.
I'm not coming
I
in.
had to answer those calls as the manager, but people not coming in because they were in jail. Like, and I knew they were in jail, so I got the Denton County, like, you getting called,
Yeah.
blah 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 blah, and so they wouldn't actually. They didn't. You couldn't get to the next part, so I couldn't hear them. So I was like, "All right, calling them by name. I know y'all are in there. I'm pretty sure it's you. It's okay. Everybody knows. I'm so sorry. If I need help, I'll help you. But it's just I've taken that call.
My
Yeah.
my one
It's
and
your-
only fucking phone call. It has to go fucking to work.
So because you're in jail.
Yeah, and then I was like, hey man, can you put the GM on the phone? And the GM comes on. He's like, what's going on? I'm like, hey man, I'm about to go to jail.
Hilarious.
I'm like, I'm about to go to jail right now, man.
And I had a similar thing where I had a warrant for not paying the last half a ticket,
Yeah.
and they came to my house. I'm pretty sure it was day 1 or day 2 of the warrant roundup, like, period.
Bro, they be on your ass on them shit.
And somehow I was living with Shannon at the time because she lived in the house about the colony, the colony. That's who it was, Colony PD, and he was actually chill. Like, it's the one time in my life I ever like tried to answer the door. I had no shirt on. I had like a beat up like sweater pants, like
Yeah.
sweats on, and I never in my life I did that. But of course, it happens to be a full garb uniform police officer. As Canoe is answering the door. And as I'm walking to the door, before I even answer, I notice there's like a one hitter on the ottoman. You can't see it unless you walk in, but it's
Yeah.
right here. And then I realized the cop. I'm like, shit. It was, so I was able to talk him down. I was like, I don't know what's going on with this and that and the other, but I like, if you want to put a shirt, I won't come in. If you put a shirt on, I'll let you. I gotta follow you there. And if you can pay for whatever you had to pay for, I'll let you go. I'm like, say less, sign me up. So I shirt on, go down there and pay for it. And he's all right, you're good to go. That was it. But I'm looking at this one hitters. I'm like, what the fuck do I do with this? I don't know what to do with this. I'm looking right at it. He never peeked in, thankfully.
Bruh,
And it's also one time we left shit out. It's the only time. Again, it's all these first times. Like usually, if we do anything, we put it away.
Yeah,
like, we always for
I
that
went to you
exact
guys'
reason.
house, yeah.
And it's the one time that we didn't put it away. Is the one time. I almost like Shannon's like, break that shit. Why did you leave it there? Like, I didn't know. I didn't want to hear something crash. I didn't know what to do with it. I didn't want to touch it.
Yeah.
Like, I just want like if I acknowledge it, so I let it all go.
Yeah.
But man, it was so crazy.
Oh, I got something like crazy. So it was a time that I was on probation,
Mhm.
and I threw a little get together at my house. A bunch of servers. I don't think we wasn't working with each other at this time.
Yeah.
This is like years down the road. This is when I bumped up to management,
Mm-hmm.
and then so I threw a get together, and it just reminded me of like this situation. So I
I'm
think,
gonna turn this off. I didn't mute my phone. Before I
are you good?
there, it's off.
And then I get a knock on my door at like 10 or 11. Like, I went out. Like, even though I had that get together, we was fucked up. I went out still. And I went out to go meet with this girl. And I got home like at 3, 4 in the morning. And I'm fucked up.
Yeah.
So I didn't going to sleep. I wake up. I'm about to start cleaning. Get a knock on my door. My fucking PO. It's liquor bottles all around. It's Jack Daniels. It's fucking tequila. It's Crown. Empty bottles from the night. Fucking beer, Corona bottles all around. And
Yeah.
like you said, Usually, like after I do something like that in my house,
Yeah.
I put it all together. But I left
Mhm.
afterwards, and then I was still drinking, and I
Mhm.
got him home, and I went straight. I didn't go to sleep. I passed out drunk,
Yeah. Well, yeah, I know.
and I was scared. I went in my closet, bro. I just didn't answer the door. I went smooth in my closet. I closed the closet door,
Probably the best thing you could have done.
bro. And then a lot of people say, "Why didn't you just close your bedroom door?" Like I don't fucking know.
Yeah.
Like I didn't have curtains in my bedroom, so I didn't want him to be looking and see my
Like
body
peeking around the
movement.
house.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like my
Yeah.
body
Yeah.
movement or anything like that.
Man,
So I hid in my closet for like
I got
an
lucky. I never
hour.
had any of that stuff. My probation never had anyone come visit houses because one time I lived in like a straight up would have been like a crack house. I mean, it didn't look that way. I wasn't doing anything then, but everybody in that house was like a bunch of us because I was
Yeah,
in a low point or whatever. We're doing things. Things were
yeah,
always out. Thankfully, I never had home visits and I did all my stuff on time and everything. So there was no reason to ever show up.
yeah,
But yeah, the few times I've been on probation a few times, and luckily I've never had a house visit. I just it was the run of luck. Thankfully, I never had to.
yeah. I think I had two, and one of them I wasn't home, and he said, "Hey, I came, but you wasn't home. Where were you, motherfucker? I don't know. Probably at the bar. Fuck it, I don't know.
Yeah,
I don't remember. Fuck." So yeah, I
I
had
can't have
those.
friends. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
like I can't have friends. Like I didn't know how to. I couldn't leave a note or anything like that.
Uh,
So speaking of, you know, about being us being bartenders and things, have you ever like have a girl ever left your number and you never text them and they came back? Like what? Like how was that situation
I
right
mean, I've
there?
always ended up like smooth it out. Like it's just, oh man, I forgot, and I like I got this, or then the next time they see me, if it is like awkward, I'll fake I have a girlfriend, or like I'll fake like I'm not something. I'll do something about it, and then I'm usually able to like speak through it and like talk through it and like smooth it out. Like I'm always been pretty good about like
Yeah.
the sales pitch part of it, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Like it's never it isn't being awkward at first. I'm like, ooh, that's that girl last time. Remember, I gotta say, but I always like go to it and like nip it in the bud. Like I don't like let it linger half the time because I've never been that person that's awkward shit linger. I just don't. I don't mind like jumping straight back in and like talking to
Yeah.
them and like acknowledging it. Yeah, I didn't call you, whatever, blah blah blah. Well, that's okay. And usually you can talk it out, and then maybe I'll go have a drink with them, or
Yeah.
maybe I'll just talk through it, and then we'll just move on. And then it never. And then eventually, if I keep making excuses, maybe
Mm-hmm.
it'll just kind of slowly go away. Sometimes if
Yeah.
it's something I really just don't want to talk to, but I don't know. I don't do the whole super awkward thing because I'll acknowledge it and we'll talk about it and I'll make them feel more awkward than I am and I'll just go about my business and go talk to somebody else or
Oh,
hop
bro.
on over here, keep going, you know.
I,
Or if it's really really bad, but just happen very very rarely, I'll just have the other bartender. Or if that is a case, I'll just be
mm-hmm.
like, you can handle that side. I'm gonna stay over here till here's why and blah blah blah, and then they'll
Oh,
go
I've
visit
been
you.
in that. I've been in that when I was bartending, fucking, and me and her got together
Yeah,
at the job, and so I think she was cocktailing and I was bartending, and I think cocktail was slow, so me and her was talking,
yeah,
just talking like, hey man, what you trying to eat when we get back home?
yeah.
And this girl walked in and fucking, just being nice, fucking gave me her number right in front of her. I'm like, that's my girl right there. She was like, okay.
Some are bold, man. Some just don't give a shit.
I was like, that was
Like,
like that was awkward. I'm like, clearly she was fucking. I think she was like 10 months pregnant. Like,
ooh.
like not 10. I'm fucking.
Either way,
Yeah, she
she's
was like
showing.
8. Like, yeah,
Yeah,
she's like 7 to 8
yeah,
months pregnant at that time. She's fucking huge.
yeah.
And I was like, oh man. And she was like, I don't give a fuck. I was like, shit, this is awkward because now I'm the only bartender. I still got to talk to you
Yeah.
because I gotta make this money.
Right, right.
And I don't want to talk to you because you
Yeah.
just did this.
Okay, that I can see being awkward. Luckily, I had my daughter way before I even got in the
Yeah.
restaurant, so we never. It was retail. I never had to worry about
Yeah.
someone coming to me retail and like handing out numbers and like having to worry. Because even if they ever did, they would just leave because you can't linger. There's no regulars in retail, you know.
Oh yeah.
Like,
Yeah, it's not.
like
That is not.
yeah. So
Man, I like regulars. Sometimes I don't,
mhm.
but I do.
I know what you're saying. There's levels, right? You got
Yeah.
the ones you actually do love. They're like family, they're friends, they're
Oh yeah.
services, they're all that kind of stuff. Yep. They always love when you see them come in because they're always chill, always cool.
Yeah.
You get the middle ground that you enjoy their time, but they can be too much, or like there are times you just don't feel like talking to someone like that because
Mhm.
they always want to talk about something in their life, and they're still cool, they're still good people, but you're just not having it. Right? I'm not in the mode to be social today. Like I'm here to show up and like I'll do that, and then you have the final ones. You're like, God, this guy never tips, or God, this person never does
Bruh,
this.
those
Or,
are the
"Ah."
those are the worst regulars, the one that don't fucking tip.
Yeah,
It's like, why do you come in here thinking I'm about to give you this grade A
yeah.
service and you don't fucking
Always
tip?
the ones that, like, they dap you up, like, "Hey, man, what's going on? How's it going? How's this? How's that? Like, I'm doing this. All right, cool." And then, like, 3 on 50. Like,
Yeah. Oh my god. I remember it was this one guy. He's always coming there and never tip. And the plate was hot. The
yeah,
fried mozzarella plate was hot. So I'm like, hey, bro, those fried mozzarella, I'm already knowing these fried mozzarella is hot.
yeah.
I'm like, hey, man, that shit's hot. He didn't want to listen to me. And I'm fucking glad what happened to him because he never tipped. So he didn't want to listen. So he picked up the fried mozzarella, ate the fried mozzarella, it burnt the roof of his tongue. He like, man, I'm like, good, motherfucker. Nah, that's all the times you didn't fucking tip or anything like that.
Little karmatic reversal there. You're in
Oh,
a reverse card.
yeah. Oh man. You know what I like when a guest is like being an asshole and rude and they think they the shit, like what they like, girl,
Yeah.
and they hand you their card and it fucking decline.
Yeah.
Oh, I love that shit.
I always have servers like, man, this card declined. I'm so embarrassed. I got you. Don't worry about it.
Fuck
I'll walk
no.
right the hell back
Yeah,
over there.
for
Like
real.
your card's declined, man. You got anything else to pay with or whatever? Like it, man, I don't know. Like I'm just saying stuff happens. Like, you try it again. I watched her try it 3 times. I need something else from you. Like
For real. Like usually like when people are cool, I usually go over there and I'm like, hey man, your car's not working on our machine.
yeah.
That happens sometimes. You got anything else? But if you being a dick,
Oh yeah.
like, hey bro, your card declined.
Yeah. And
I wiped it on my
like,
pants.
why you got to say it like that?
That's what it is.
It is. I'm gonna tell you.
I'm like, that's what it is. You have anything else you can pay with? I remember this dude tried 4 cards. They all declined. Then he whopped out a wad of cash. And like,
Oh,
I'm
come
like,
on,
bro, you
bro.
could have did this shit in the beginning.
Like either start that way or like after the first decline, like here's that like just
Or the
jump.
first 2, like,
Anything.
something. Like, but you want to make me try 4 fucking cards. Oh my.
Similar but different. I had one of the restaurants I worked at. It was a Valentine's Day, and it wasn't like they had a short card or anything, but it was like one of those things where like you're like, yeah. So I'm like walking up. It's Valentine's Day. We're doing this whole special. I'm like, hey, you guys want any dessert? And it's 2 couples, and I'm talking to him, and the guy's like, so, are you guys buying the dessert? And I'm like, you can't afford a dessert on Valentine's Day. And it was like, I'm talking auto response. I didn't even. I saw it coming out of my mouth, and I couldn't stop it, and I went, nope, hell, I did it. And he tipped me $1, but it's the best dollar I've made in my entire life because he was just, his friends were laughing. Like, they were like just stunned. It was like the greatest, one of those like immediate responses. And I didn't get in trouble. Like, I tell you, I even told the GM, like, hey, you might hate me. This, that, and the other. He's like, so how'd it feel? I'm like, fantastic. The best dollar I made in my life.
Oh man, I remember I got stiffed and I got in trouble.
That's the worst.
Cause I hate these people. So anybody out there that's watching this, that's not in the restaurant industry, we know what you're doing when you ask for water, lemons, and keep asking for pack of sugar. We know what you fucking doing.
Yeah.
You're making your own lemonade.
Yeah.
So when I first started off, I rung up a lemonade. I'm like, fuck that, man. I'm like the whole table, like she had at least
Yeah.
about 20 packages of sugar and at least about like 15 lemons. And she kept trying to, she made her own lemonade. So I rung it up. She like, I didn't have a lemonade. I'm like, yes, you
I
did.
watched you make it.
And then she was like, no, I didn't. I'm like, those lemons, those sugars, that's the lemonade. And she was like, go get the manager. And you remember Jen?
Yeah.
Yeah, Jen was like, Chris, you can't do that. But she laughed about it. She like, that's funny that you did that, but she's like, you can't do that.
Yeah.
I'm like, but she literally made lemonade. She like, I get that, but she like, that's still water and lemon.
I always told myself I was gonna go out on something like that. If I were at the end of my rope at some place and that was that happened, that was that day, I always told myself I would just go out. That was how I would go out. But be charging for it and just but it never after that it hadn't happened to me in a long time. I guess I worked in more bars last few years. That hasn't happened a whole lot.
Shit, when cause I worked on the street side, then I went to the airport, then I came back to the street side.
Yeah.
So on my last day on the street side before I moved back, went to the airport, my last day there, because I remember I went up to tables. I'm like, hey, do the whole spiel. I was like, what can I get y'all a drink? Water? No, I want strawberry lemonade. Water? I got you. That's all I was doing. They're like, I didn't want that. I'm like, yeah, I got you. Then I go to another table. They were like, can I get if they wasn't ordering alcohol, they got a water. Can I get a Coke water? Got you.
That's
That's all I was doing because I'm like, I'm fucking leaving.
yeah,
I'm
yeah.
like walking out the door. And I
Hilarious.
tried to do what my boy did. So my boy ordered he ordered a full rack of ribs with the JD sauce,
Yeah.
full rack of ribs,
Yeah.
fucking steak and ribs at that,
Okay.
fucking shrimp, loaded mashed potatoes, and the sweet potato fries.
Damn.
All that's upcharged, bro.
Yeah.
That's like a $40 meal by
Yeah.
itself right there. And he didn't pay for it.
Oh Lord.
He walked out and didn't pay for it. And Erskine was like, "What's up with your boy?" I was like, "I don't know what you're talking about. What you mean?" He like, "Your boy didn't pay." I was like, "Okay, what the fuck you want me to do about that,
Yeah,
man?" He was like, "Hit him up." I'm like, "I'm not about to call that, man."
Oh,
I
man.
met up with him later that day. He started laughing about it.
That's hilarious.
He laughed about that shit.
Uh,
I tried to do that. I got caught.
probably because he did it first.
I got caught. I was trying to leave. They're like, "Hey, here's your receipt for your food." Fuck. I was like,
I forgot about this. Like, so my last day, and I left normal 2 weeks, did my usual thing. I didn't do anything crazy my last day, like because you couldn't drink there, right?
yeah.
And so I remember sitting down. I wanted a Long Island iced tea because that was the deal. Everybody, one of those iced teas, and Steven was still bartending then. And I sat down. I had the drink in front of me. I had it in my hand. I'm talking an inch from my lips. And Ursula goes, "Hey, 1 second. Do you want to work tomorrow before and make tomorrow your last day?" I went, "Hell no," and took a big sip because I couldn't drink. I officially was quit. But
Yeah.
because he was going to ask me to work tomorrow, if I had said yes, I couldn't sit there and drink that drink. I
Yeah.
had already put on my tab and already was about to drink.
What'd he say?
He was like, "Okay, have a good night," and that was all he did and walked off.
Bro, one thing about him, man, like, you like, "Hey, man, Erskine, can I bounce?" He like, "Oh." He always refers to himself in the third person.
Yeah, he did.
You like, "Hey, man, can I get cut?" "Oh, Erskine wants to go home. Erskine wants to get cut. Why Erskine can't leave? I don't fucking know, Erskine. I don't make your schedule. Can I leave?"
But can I leave?
Yeah.
Can Kenson go home? Thank you, please.
He always did. Oh, my God. Oh, he'd eat your food. Bro, I remember I was bartending, and you remember like that door, and it was like that like breeze, like that back
Yeah, the
way
one
you, by
behind
the
the
ice
bar.
machine,
Yeah,
and
yeah,
you
yeah,
can
yeah.
go to the kitchen and all of
Crush
that.
ice there too. That crush ice.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
Forgot about that. Anyway,
Yeah. And I see him eating like my sampler. He damn near ate all of it. I'm like, "Bro, what you doing?" He was like, "Don't worry, I'll pay for
and
it."
he gets free food too.
I'm like, "Bro, that's
Like-
not the fucking point. You paying for it. I'm hungry as hell now. What?
That's
like-
hilarious. Oh,
Now I
God.
can't eat."
Yeah, because you have your food.
Yeah.
That's hilarious.
He always talks to himself in third person, man. Always. Man, remember fucking Thursday nights?
Mhm.
DJ night?
Yeah,
Man.
that was fun.
Oh my God.
I went there. I did that a lot at post working there too. I used to hang out there, and then the dude also was like a karaoke dude, and I would sing sometimes.
Yeah.
And he'd hear me singing. He'd like, "Hey, man, I'll get up here." Like, was it DJ
Dream.
Yeah,
Yeah,
'Cause
DJ
I still hear
Dream.
him pop around somewhere in the bars.
Yeah. Hey,
so-
if anybody needs a good DJ, man,
Yeah.
look out for DJ
Yeah.
Dream, man.
he was
cold
good,
ass
man. He was
DJ,
real
man.
good. He was good.
Cold
people.
ass DJ.
Yeah. But he'd hear me sing off to the side, like, "Man, come get this mic," and so I finish out the song and kind of sing a little bit here and there. But yeah, that was always fun. I love going out for those nights. I made it on the rotation, so when I left there into other restaurants, we'd rotate nights to go out, and I always added like Fridays. That was one of the nights, and then we always did 2 or 3 nights out the week on top
Yeah.
of our rotation of restaurants, bars we go to,
Mm-hmm.
just for that reason. It was fun.
Oh yeah, man. I fucking love that. Cause then when we could start drinking out there, I used to stay because he didn't care, we drank.
Yeah.
So I don't know if he did for everybody, but he didn't give a fuck when I did it. And I remember, man, I got so fucking like that shit literally turned into a fucking club.
Yeah, it did.
Like
It did.
you would think like that restaurant that looks like a fucking restaurant.
Like, it looks
that,
like a restaurant.
yeah, like a family restaurant.
Yeah.
But that
It happens to have a bar on the side.
Yeah. And that shit literally motherfuckers be twerking on the fucking tables and shit
Crazy.
like that. I'm like, this shit, wow.
I even like the nights because there were a couple times I came back post working there to do like bar wars, to judge the bar wars.
Yeah.
And then one I was okay and chill. One I might have got a little too drunk, and I was judging stuff. And I remember Steven was coming on, and I don't know where I was at. I was outside on the phone call or something. And I remember coming back in halfway through his thing, and apparently someone told me he did the whole like napkin thing where you put the stuff down. and got to where I was supposed to be at, and I wasn't there and didn't know what to do, and threw the napkin out, I guess. And I walked back in and finished judging it. But no, I was not great. I remember I think Erskine had to Uber me home. Or it was before Uber. I think Shannon had to drive me home or something. They had to figure out how to get my car from there to home and get her back to there. I don't know. It was bad. It was real
Man,
bad.
I used to miss those borrowers, man, because after those, all of us would go to fucking Fry Street.
Yeah.
And get
or
fucking
somewhere like that. Yeah.
Oh yeah, we all get fucking lit
Fry
on
Street.
Fry Street, bruh. I remember, I think I got into it with somebody, and cause that's bound to happen when you at fucking Fry Street. You gonna get into it
Always.
with some people, and I
Always.
think they bumped into Shannon or something like that, and I was like, "Fuck that, man!" And I was like, "Hey, motherfucker, watch the fuck out." So me and him got into it. Then I was like, "All right, meet me outside and shit like that." And I hear Shannon in the background. "I got your back, Chris."
We used to either go to Fry Street or we go out to Dallas. We hit Addison quite a lot too back then.
Oh
those days.
I don't think. Well, we
but that-
never did that.
But I think that's also the point now. That point because I was a little bit. I mean, I'm that much older then, but I was older
Yeah.
then, and I think I wanted to hit like Sherlock's and but he went all the Addison places
Yeah.
out there. You know what I'm saying? Like I wanted to go to those bars and stuff out there, and just to me made more sense because we had fun anywhere. I mean, we found this one like spot that had like a go dancer or something. I didn't know it was even out in Addison. Like, they had the
yeah.
cages and stuff in it.
Yeah.
And man, we were all over the place. I mean, we would have, or we'd have a house party. I don't know. It was something.
Yeah,
new.
it was always something going
I
on.
remember like for a while, me and Shannon were still friends. We were always everybody. If the party wasn't jumping, they would call us, and then we would be either bring the people or bring the stuff or bring
Yeah.
us, and it would just it would change the night. Like we
Fuck
were always
yeah,
the people
yeah.
that come in there, and it would change the mood.
Man, remember that one spot behind the job? It started with a C. They closed down.
Yeah.
I can see why they fucking closed that $3 Grey Goose.
Yeah.
Absolute $3 Grey Goose.
And they legit turned to a
Incredible.
club. They started like
Yeah.
nice fine dining, not fine dining, but like a nice restaurant type deal, like Asian
Yeah.
food, sushi, whatever. And then at night it was like
Like, it was
straight
shit-
club.
Yeah, they had go-go dances and shit like
and they
that.
had they had a whole DJ booth set up and things.
Yup,
Yeah,
mhm,
I ended
yeah.
up working with a dude that was like one of the area managers for them. He ended up bumping back down to like a GM someplace.
Yeah.
And working with him.
Did he ever say why they closed down?
Just that money, they weren't making money. I mean, I wasn't even just that. I think the entire company, most of them closed down. I don't even know where one of those places is at anymore. I haven't seen one.
No, I think they all closed down.
because
I
there
think
were a handful amount.
Yeah,
out
it
in
was
the
one
world.
in Addison.
Yeah.
I know it was one in Addison off Belline for
Yeah.
sure. And the one that was behind us. I only knew about those two.
Yeah.
I heard it was one in Arlington, but I never seen it.
I never did.
Yeah. But that one was, But like I said, you had $3 fucking Grey Goose, $3
Mhm.
Crown, $3 Gentleman Jack, $3 Hennessy. Yeah, no shit. You
Yeah.
ain't making no fucking
And their happy
money.
hour on food and stuff was crazy too. They would serve food until like midnight. So you had
Yeah.
people clubbing on one side, someone
Eating on
trying to
the other
like
side.
chopsticks and sushi on the other.
Yeah.
Like,
No.
but it was also cheap then too. I don't know. I think that the idea just kind of got played out. I don't know if maybe there was some underlying thing. 'Cause I know he was saying that he was, even though he's a regional manager or district or whatever their case was, that he
Mhm.
was constantly working. Like he took a step back because he always had to be somewhere in some store or one of the restaurants somewhere and never had any time for himself or anything. So he had to back down and he GM'd this little small mom and pop bar that I happened to find him in for like the month I worked there and
Yeah.
like the 2 months he had worked there. But yeah, it was I don't know any other details, but it seemed like they were there one day and then all of them were gone the next. So I can imagine. I heard some stories about some shady stuff they were doing to the servers and things in there about taking tips
Yeah.
and not giving all their money, or like managers were taking things from them, or like money's getting lost all the time. So I mean, I
Yeah.
can imagine that's probably part of it.
Oh yeah, I heard about
So-
that too. I heard about that. Man, it was crazy when we fucking when we got shut down.
Yeah.
Man, that shit was wild, man. Cause I was manager at the time when we got shut down.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I knew that construction fucking killed us when they
Yeah.
expanded the service road
Mhm.
and built that fucking bridge for like say Rembrandt and all
Well,
of
I'm pretty
that.
sure they were supposed to be in the restaurants. They wanted to try and move. I mean, obviously that whole side's still there, but they moved quite a bit. The only reason why that side where
They did.
the OG restaurant is over
Mhm.
there is because that's the like flagship restaurant of that business,
Mhm.
and they paid them to not make them move because if they moved, they would have lost a bunch of business. But everybody else closed down right on that. That's why all those other places closed
Yep.
down there
mhm.
to have that restaurant or that highway expand. They figured out some other way to do it. So,
Yeah. Oh, it was that one spot over there, bro. It started with an F.
Yeah, yeah. I think they were closed down way before that. Well,
No, they moved over there to Dallas,
yeah. Well,
bro.
you're right. I used to go there often.
That was
They
the
also had
spot.
yeah.
They was
They had karaoke
expensive,
one night. They were pricey, but
fucking
their food was so
expensive.
good.
Yeah, they
And
drinks were so fucking
yeah, they
good.
were. I like the atmosphere too. Always had friends that go there. We'd always hang out
Oh
there.
fuck yeah.
What's funny is lately there's people like I've seen that are regulars of mine at the new spot that I'm at, the current spot that I'm at, and they would talk about being at that place, and I'm like, that's how I know you. Like we finally figured this out like a few months ago. Like I've known them for quote unquote years. Just as I
Yeah.
used to drink with them by accident
Mhm.
there. Never known until now we're having story time about like past places we've been to, and all of a sudden now we realize why we know each other and why we look familiar for the last year where he's been coming to my bar or whatever.
Yeah.
So
Shit.
crazy.
Yeah, man. I was out. Shit, I was with my girl, and she was like, "Man, you know a lot of people." I'm like, "Man, being in this fucking industry,
Yeah.
man, you gonna fucking."
Anybody ever try and date? We go anywhere. It can be. I mean, Louisville especially, but anywhere a little bit outside, and I'll find one or two people somewhere. Hell, my daughter will go somewhere, and she goes, "Dad, you know everybody." I'm like, well, I'm not famous, but I just know people. People,
Yeah,
like,
being
people
in
flock
this
to me,
industry, you know people,
yeah.
man.
Especially people
Like,
have good energy, man. People
oh
have good
yeah,
energy. All we kind of flock, and they'll make a point to come say hi to you or whatever, as long as
oh
you
yeah,
know,
most
make some
definitely,
good impression on them in some
most
way.
definitely.
Yeah.
Like, I saw somebody like 3 weeks ago, fucking the spot that I'm at now.
Yeah.
And I would never thought I would have saw this person. And they're like, "What up, Chris?" And I'm like, they said their name. Like, "Oh yeah." I'm like, "Oh yeah, I remember you now."
Yeah.
Like, "How you been?" And we just started, talking and stuff. They're
Yeah.
like, "You here now?" I'm like, "Yeah." And it's just, man, just some shit, man.
That's
It's
funny.
just
Like I
wow.
said earlier, it's a small world. Like the restaurant industry, of all the places I've worked, it's the smallest community because you meet people that know people who know someone who's met this person that heard your name. It's weird how you could be almost anywhere in this little area and have known somebody.
Oh yeah,
And
most
they know
definitely.
you who you are, and they start talking about this dude. Like you know Kenson, like like yeah, like how do you know Kenson?
Oh yeah,
then I hear about it. You know what I'm saying?
for
Like,
me, like what we was
well,
just
yeah,
talking
yeah,
about like earlier
yeah.
when I was going. He like, "Hey, you know Ken?" I'm like, "Yeah." I like, "Fuck, you know him."
Yeah, well, we were sitting somewhere too, and on the reverse side, we were talking about like, yeah, I know a buddy of mine that started doing you talking about
Yeah,
you, and we were sitting watching a Mavs game or something, and he was like, "Wait, you know Chris?" I'm like, yeah, I know Chris. What do you mean? I've known Chris a long time. Like,
yeah,
and he was like, "Well, he does his podcast." Yeah, I know. We were talking about the podcast right now. Yeah,
yeah,
yeah, or whatever. So like, that's how it kind of got down to me and him finding out but we both knew you and stuff too. So it's like I said,
yeah.
crazy, just small
And
world.
he
Man.
told me, then he told me that, right, basically the same thing that you told me, like,
Yeah,
I'm like, that's crazy.
yeah.
You know what else is crazy, bro?
What?
Fucking, the thing, through shit, like, I'm gonna say, like, a couple weeks ago, somebody literally came up to me while I was working, walks up to me. He like, "Hey, man, ain't you that guy from that podcast?"
Well, that's cool.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah. I was like, "Yeah." And he was like, "You work here?" I was like, "Yeah." He like, "That's what's up, bro." And walked off. Never thought I
Hmm.
fucking see this guy. Never thought I would be like,
That's badass.
cool with this
I
guy.
love that kind of thing where like the little small things and outside of your world, kind of. But like
Yeah.
that's cool, man. That's
And
awesome.
I was like, and it was just dope because I don't even think that guy was in the restaurant industry. Well, the way he looked, I couldn't be, mistaken, but
Right.
I don't think he didn't look like he was. You can tell
Right.
how people,
It's how they carry themselves.
how they carry
Yeah, yeah.
and how they carry stuff and like to go back. Like, believe it or not, man, you can tell by if somebody works in the industry, like how they carry certain things, how they
Mhm.
talk to people, and
How they
when
leave a table. Like if they walk,
Yeah.
you see me walk by. How they leave a table.
Yeah.
You can tell.
Yeah, you can tell.
Yeah.
And that guy said that, I was like, shit. And then some people asked me like what made me, want to start this. I was like, reason I started this in the first place is just I just want us to come somewhere and we can all just shoot the shit,
Yeah.
and have people hear about their stories, and people that's in the industry, like when they going to work or getting off work, they can tune in on this. And I want people that's not in this industry to fucking know what we go through,
Right.
man.
Right.
Like, I don't think anybody knows. They just think we just go up there to work, make our $2.13 an hour,
Yeah.
and fucking work and
Clock
serve.
in and clock out. Like
Yeah.
no one, like half the people I've heard, especially more when I first started,
Mhm.
people saying like a monkey could do your job or this. Like it's really like, I mean, there are certain aspects that maybe someone could robot it, but like it's about the person, man. Like again, back to us having a small world where someone will walk up to you just because they've seen you once or you served them a few years ago or
Yeah.
good energy. It's not just about like taking stuff to a table and walking back to the back. Like
Yeah.
there's a life that has to go with it and the minutia that goes in the whole like everything. And then not even just with front facing guests, like the stuff that happens behind the scenes that people don't know about, the crazy
Yeah.
stories that we've only even touched on.
Yeah,
Like,
bro. Like we haven't even touched on some
like
of
there's a
those.
lot. Like I actually always at one point in time, and I've sat down several times to start writing and never have, but like a realistically like restaurant industry TV show, like not like a documentary style, but like Shameless. Like take that, turn it into a restaurant show, and actually make it to where it's like realistic. I thought of writing it, and I've had people help me write it down again, and they all disappear, and so I stopped. But then I've also I don't know what the impact would be. Like if we make it real,
Patent
if we make it like actually a real thing, like
Why
would that
not?
like turn people away from going to restaurants if they know some of the super deep dark secrets?
That
if we
movie
go too far?
Waiting.
Yeah, but even that, and that's only like I guess that's only the tip of the iceberg. People still think people spit in food because
That's not true.
I've never seen one
I've
person. And I've
never
done this thing
seen
for
that.
14 years. And
Yeah,
not
I've
seen one person do
never
it.
seen. One thing about being I like. Yeah, you might piss me off. Like people
Yeah.
might piss me. I would never touch
I will
nobody's
not miss
fucking
somebody's
food.
food because there's like a karma thing. The same thing with like when you go out to, even if you have bad service somewhere and you go out somewhere as a server, I always have tip karma. Like I won't necessarily tip you what I normally would. I tip
Yeah.
you normal,
Yeah,
but like because I'm a big over tipper. I've just been in this for so long. That's what I want. So if I put more money out in the
For
world, I figure
real,
it's
yeah.
coming back to me. But it's the same kind of idea. You don't want to spit in someone's food because something else I know what's going to happen to you. You don't want to
yeah.
not
I
tip
would
somebody
never
because
do that.
go down somewhere down the world that week, somebody bad for it. Like you don't ever want to do that. It's just how vibes and karma work, man. I never want to be that person.
Yeah, I'd never been about trying to do some shit like that. That's
Yeah.
fucked up. I never thought about that. And then for people to think, no.
Yeah.
But no, man, that's a good ass idea, man.
Yeah.
Fucking having a TV show
Yeah.
about that. But yeah, that's
Be something like I said, I keep revisiting and just never kind of put too much effort into it. I mean, I'll write a few things, quote unquote, and then I'm not sure where even the stuff I wrote down is now. I have no idea.
fuck, man. Go through with
Yeah.
that shit, man. Like if you ever need somebody to help, like shit, look, I took this
Yeah.
and I ran with this shit.
Yeah.
I thought about it and I ran with it. And
I mean, the idea would just be have a bunch of get a bunch of server stories and like your own personal experiences, and then turn them into episodes, but make it in like a sitcom-y style, like a TV show style version. But
yeah.
I even thought of how the intro would work. I thought of maybe I not listen to the song, but like how each would go. I've already kind of gotten down the basic nuts and bolts of what I want, and it's really just the stories now at this point that I'd had to figure out and make work and everything, and then figure out how to like shoot a pilot. I'm not even trying to do any of that either. If that's even, I'm not even that far, but like how to get that done, if that would be a thing, just to like get that out there and figure out who would buy it, kind of thing, you know. So I don't know.
Shit, you can start it off on Tubi.
Yeah, I guess you could, or even just do like YouTube episodes of some kind. Or
Yeah.
something.
Oh, that's what everybody's fucking,
Yeah,
going
it's like
to.
small versions of stuff. Just get people that would like we wanted to do like a small indie type thing and just make
Yeah, and then,
episodes and see what comes out, who would buy it.
Yeah, somebody who can sit there and look at it and buy it from there.
Yeah, it's not a bad idea either.
Yeah, man. Damn, bro, you know what? We're gonna be talking
Yeah, let's
about
talk
that.
some more. I'm down for that.
Yeah, let's talk some more about that. Let's put some shit into
Yeah, let's do.
some action. You guys heard it here first,
Yeah.
so no one steals that
No,
fucking idea.
it's ours. It's
Yeah.
definitely pending, patent
Yeah,
pending,
patent
whatever,
pending.
trademarked or whatever you want to do.
We about to trademark that bitch. Yeah, we about to be making some moves. We about to shine the light on this industry, man.
Hopefully in a somewhat good way, but also like
Yeah,
let's see if everybody know what's
yeah,
the inside
man.
of
That's
it
a
is.
fucking great idea, man.
I
Damn,
think it would do well, especially if it done right with the right actors and people and the right writing and stuff. I think it would do really well.
fuck it, bro. You know what's crazy?
Yeah.
Like on some real shit. I was literally thinking about like, hopefully if this takes off and get somewhere, that the next move I would like to like go on a fucking like a sitcom and act.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
then you brought this idea up.
That's man. I was talking again back to my best friend Amanda today. I was talking to her today about how like everything I've been doing lately gets immediately answered. Like if I'm supposed to do this or I'm supposed to do that or I'm supposed to be like it's always right. I've been in a lot of right place, right time in the last 6 months.
Yeah.
And like even with the possible career change and stuff that I kind of want to do, every time I think, well, maybe I should just go back. Something happens either negative in the industry I'm in or positive in that industry to get me to stay down the path I'm going in. And like that today just mentioned that I would never even thought about bringing it up, and I just randomly did, and now like here we are, maybe spitballing it at some point. So
No, man, like real shit. Like how I got this started. It was supposed to be me and my cousin to getting this shit together a while ago, but I wasn't serious about it at the time. Then I'm like, all right, I started getting my life back together. Stop drinking and shit.
Yeah.
I'm like, hey man, we should do this. He like, he got his own thing going on. He got his family. He got his career going on, and I get that. So I was like, we can't do it now. And then shit, I talked about it that Friday.
Mhm.
Excuse me. And that Sunday, I saw some people, doing something, and I ended up not going with them.
Right.
But that it was just they gave me that extra push
Yeah.
to, start the
Yeah.
podcast.
Yeah.
And I just looked at it was a sign. Like if I talked about it on Friday and then it's on Sunday, somebody, giving me a card like, hey,
That
they
direction.
do movies and
Yeah.
podcasts and shit like that. I'm like, man, maybe this is a sign. Maybe I should do this.
Yeah. Like
So
you've tapped into like the stream you're supposed to be in, like the direction you're supposed to go. That's
yeah, man.
that's cool.
I'm like, I look at it like, man, God didn't give me a fucking. If that's not a clear sign, I don't know what
Literally.
is, man.
Literally, there's only so much you can read into it before you're like, man, that's got to be it. That's gotta be
Yeah,
what it
so
is.
that's how I took it, and I ran with it.
Yeah.
But also before we wrap this up,
Okay.
I usually always talk about things that's like, that's trending in the world or ask certain questions. This is my first time doing this.
Okay.
It's asking like, certain questions before we gotta wrap up. So what is your favorite sports movie, since we both worked in a bunch of sports bars and
Right.
things like that?
Right.
So what is your favorite one of your give me your top 3 sports movies?
Definitely remember the Titans
Okay.
because it's just that was around the time I was playing football in high school and the
Mhm.
friends I had. I mean, I wasn't going anywhere, whatever. But it was just and the whole like story and the diatribe of like that era of time and having to overcome all that. That was like the most badass thing. Waterboy because it was just hilarious.
Yeah.
And the last one, man, I don't even thought of it. I guess I'd have to say maybe the movie Invictus. It was the one that had Matt Damon as a rugby team.
I thought that was Keanu Reeves. No, that's Mr. Replaceable.
That's the
something
replacement.
Yeah,
That's also
Replacement,
I would
yeah.
say if I had top 4 or 5, that would be up there too because I watched
Yeah.
that every single time. And I guess I could say tie for 3. Only reason I Invictus was that is I had a really cool mentor boss at a company I worked for that was retail before this, and he always turned some kind of historical story, whether it be mostly military, into like a reason to like leadership lesson.
Yeah.
But one of our manager meetings, he took us to. It's not a store manager of this company. One of our manager meetings, he took us to go see Invictus instead, and it had a whole like leadership meeting. So it's the insight of actually taking what you see on screen and then turning it into like something for your life and kind of letting meditate that. That was kind of a cool thing. So I would say probably top 3. I'd say 3, maybe and a half, because I replacements
Yeah.
when those I watch every time I see it on TV. If it pops up and it comes across my like Netflix, whatever, I'm
Yeah.
like, I gotta watch it. But it
Yeah.
would be I could say remember Titans just because of the whole deal. Waterboy because it was hilarious and that's also part of my childhood, and then Invictus for me the message that I got out of it. So
Okay. Mine would probably have to be Remember the Titans,
Yep.
like you said. Any Given Sunday.
That's solid too, man.
Oh my
That's
fucking
hard.
god, I love Any
The
Given
soundtrack
Sunday.
too was really good too.
Yes, that
So
was
great.
that was a great movie,
Yeah.
man. It was
That was one of
good.
those that showed the hard parts, the dark parts of
Some of the
and,
dark.
you know,
I don't think they
it's
could
like-
really get into it because
Yeah.
that they would have ended
Yeah.
up suing them. But
yeah.
they showed you like a concept of
Yeah.
like what people in sports like kind of go
Yeah,
through,
like,
and then
and-
they had real NFL players in
Yeah.
there also.
Yeah.
So that's what made it legit for me also. And shit, it's a tie between. It is a tie between Friday Night Lights.
Ooh, that's good too. I read the book also on that one. I don't read
Yeah.
much, but I read that book. It was really, really good.
Yeah, Friday Night Lights or fuck, what was the other one? I forgot the other one, so I guess it's not that important. Friday Night Lights, yeah. Friday. Oh, one thing one thing I didn't like about Friday Night Lights. So I didn't read the book.
Yeah.
And this I saw before, Google, like before, people start going on Google
Yeah.
and looking up shit.
Yeah.
So I get on there and like I go on Google, like I think like 5 years ago to find when when I kind of moved to Texas, I go on there and I see the movie again. Like, oh shit, I heard Odessa's like 4 hours away.
Yeah.
So I look it up. Man, that shit's not even true. That shit wasn't even in that the fucking state championship. It was to get into the state
Yeah, it was,
championship,
insane.
and the score wasn't even like that. It was
Yeah.
like 6-9, something
Yeah.
like that.
I mean, the book was. I mean, I don't remember the details, but the book was better because it laid out a lot more detail. I think the books even still fantasized it and went into them being in the championship or whatever. I just remember, but it was. I mean, there were some of the situations that were like similar, but it was done. The book was written as if like author was like like himself being an author, taking
Yeah.
notes. Like it was written that way. Where
Yeah,
he
wasn't
talked
it?
about
It was
himself
like a
lot.
guy that's following the team,
Right? And
yeah.
and that's so. And like I said, I didn't read very many. I mean, I read a decent amount of books, but I don't read a whole lot just because like I gotta find something interesting. And that was one of the ones I made sure I read. It was once I started reading it, I couldn't stop reading it. It was actually really, really good.
Yeah.
So, definitely better than the movie. I saw the movie after I read the book. And like I vaguely remember how the movie went. I remember the book more than I do anything else. It's just pretty detailed.
Sometimes you gotta probably watch the shit before you read the book because it will
Yeah.
fuck it all. Because once you read the book, you picture a whole different
Yeah.
thing
yeah.
in your head. Then when you watch something, you're like, this is not what I
Yeah,
envisioned.
like my Boobie Miles in the book is not the same Boobie Miles that you see in the running back.
Yeah, they
wise.
made Booby Miles in the movie look like an asshole.
Yeah.
Booby. You're like, let me in, coach. Let me spin, coach. But nah. Yeah, that was a good movie. But yeah, it's about that time. We got to wrap it up. Thank you guys for tuning in. Thank you, Kenson, for coming on here,
course,
man. We definitely gonna have to tune in with each other about that.
Yeah,
But
it's the right TV show.
yeah, we're gonna try to make that work. But appreciate you guys for tuning in for the industry. Like I said, it would be at every Wednesday night. Thank you guys for please subscribe, please follow, and also follow my Instagram page, _industry24, _industry24. You want to give your Instagram name?
I'm not sure this right now. I have to change it to something. I think it was like it's Hamcakes13. I think it's an old nickname.
Yeah.
Just Hamcakes13. Look me up there. If not, you can find my Kenson Leatherwood on Facebook, and you can just find me on there. That's fine. That works.
All right, y'all. Appreciate y'all for coming in. Y'all have a nice one.
Peace.